Hey everybody, welcome back to the Survival Heights Season 2 world. In the previous episode, we built what you can see behind me, which is our furnace setup, and I think things have turned out pretty well. You know what else has, I guess, turned out pretty, I don't even know where I'm going with that. Statistics! So I was actually perusing these recently. This is totally a side tangent, but I saw that my time played is 28.2 days, but my time with the world open is 23.4 days. I thought this last number had to be larger than this first number. Unless it came out after I started this world. I started this world in 1.16.5 and it didn't track before then. That's the only thing I can think of. But anyways, the plan to start off today's episode is actually a pretty simple one. And it's a project, like many of the projects we're going to be doing in the incoming episodes, are projects that I've been putting off for a very long time. And that is down here. So you can see it over here. We have a portal. It's right where I had initially spawned here in the world. Got a little portal here, but this portal, this is where we first spawned in, by the way. This portal has always been destined for this area. It's right above where our New Year's resolutions board is, and I think it is high time we put ourselves a little nether portal in here. So I'm probably gonna spruce that up a little bit, cover it up, and do whatever I need to do there, but I'm also gonna head over here. And I'm probably going to do the max size portal. That's what I like to do in these worlds. And it fits pretty well with Amplified. But we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead, folks, get started with today's episode. Let's move this portal. And let's get going. And there we have it. The giant nether portal. 23 by 23 border. That has a giant hole in the back of the middle, which is, or the middle of the back, the back of the middle of the back, which is totally fine. We're going to replace that back. The biggest thing that we're going to have to do here is shape this. How I want to shape this, I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to texture it. We're going to blend it in at least with the mountainside here. And then my plan from there, I think, is that we're going to either build a pathway down into here and then build a bridge up into here, or we're going to build like a bridge here or some kind of other way up. We might actually build a staircase up there so we can get all the way up here as well. But I'm thinking once we finish this, we're going to build a bridge at least from here to here or there to there, something like that, so we can connect up to this island, because that's been the plan from day one in this world. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and we're going to do it today. But before we do that, we've got to figure out what we're going to do to decorate this portal, because obviously we can't leave it like this. So folks, let me come up with a design, something that we can do for this, and I'll bring you guys back once I've got one. So we're over here in my creative test world, and this is, I think, the kind of portal that I want to go with today. So I threw something together that I think would work for the theme that we have going on and for the nature area around it. So I started off with these sides here, looking at adding some stone brick and some cracked stone brick. I wanted to stay with kind of some of the stone variants and things that go with that. I think tuff is a great block for this andesite as well, and added some of these walls here to expose some of the obsidian. It's kind of like a two wide pillar here with some walls on the inside. Up here we have where the grass would be at the very top. If there is any grass, it may just be melted into the side there. I'd have to go back in the world and see what it's really going to look like. But some hanging walls here, some hanging lanterns as well, just to kind of give the effect of sort of a crumbling architecture around it, something that's probably kind of been chipped away at, I guess, in the side of the mountain, and you left some of those extra stone bits kind of hanging around. So I don't know if that's totally realistic, but I think it looks pretty cool. Down here at the bottom, we have what the pathway is gonna look like. So we've got, of course, the path blocks, which you already have, but we also have some coarse dirt. I always like coarse dirt, and path blocks are a great combination. So I think it's pretty simple. It'll fit the theme of the area pretty well, and I think it's gonna mesh quite nicely in with the surroundings. So I might do a few other things. Like I said, this is kind of a general idea. I don't use mods like Lightmatica typically in this world, so it's not like it's going to be a perfect schematic that goes over top of it. It's just really going to be me. Okay, hold on. I want to do that. That looks a little better. It's just really just going to be me chiseling out the area. I'm going to grab a bunch of blocks, all the blocks out of here, all the different walls and stuff, including the stone brick and the andesite and things like that. Put those in kind of a project shulker box, and then just kind of chisel away. And we'll see what happens. So let me go ahead and do that, folks, and head over into the world and see what we can make. Alrighty, this is what the finished product as of right now looks like. So I wanted to kind of showcase what I've done. As you can tell, there's a few things that are different from what you guys have already seen. The major things are that, or I guess we'll start with the minor things. The minor things are the tuff here has now been put in place. You'll see a little bit of the mossy bricks as we go. There we go. You can't really see them, but there's a little bit of mossy bricks in here as well. I haven't filled in the hole behind that. We'll still have to do that. The big thing that's happened is this area right here. So previously this was just a floating bit of grass, and that can't stay. So we need to put together what this cliff face is gonna look like. Now I want it to look somewhat natural. I'm not the best at terraforming, but I'm definitely going to give it my best shot. So a lot of this still needs to be stone, and we'll need to make sure this all becomes grass and shape things out a little bit. But part of the goal with this, as you'll see here, is I want to bring a pathway down through here. We covered this up a little bit, and I definitely want to get that cleaned up, but fill that in. We definitely want to bring a staircase down here and connect it up probably right there. I don't know if I want to tear some of this area out and bring it down here, or if I want to bring it around the side here and connect it up there. I'm not really sure yet exactly what that's going to look like, but we'll have to work on it and see what I can come up with, because eventually this pathway is going to come out to here, with the goal being that we have a bridge from here all the way over to there to connect up to this island. And we'll eventually have a bridge from that island to that island, and probably some staircases. I want to make sure that everything around here is connected up pretty well just with pathways. We might connect things up there as well, because that's where our spawn point is. It'd be pretty cool to just be able to ride a horse or just walk over there instead of having to fly. So I think I'm going to give this little hillside here a whirl. I know it needs a lot more stone. It's really treacherous to work in amplified terrain. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to set up the right infrastructure in order to put in the stone and whatnot. So I'm going to try to do what I can with that. And I will bring you all back when I've made some progress, and we can go over it and see what needs to be changed. The terraforming is now done. And as you can see, I did a little bit more than I thought, or I think I said that I was going to do. The main things being I added some leaves around the portal here as well. I went ahead and put all the stone down here. I tried to make all this grass around here, shaped it up a little bit better, and I think it's turned out pretty well. Maybe it could use with a couple of edits here or there, but overall I think it looks pretty good. Now comes the more interesting part that you guys actually can't see. So if we walk over here, I have started on the pathway and thus the staircase that gets up. And the thing that I did do that I had mentioned I would do is I cut out some of the area here. I did a little bit of cutting away of some of this stone. I put some leaves over here as well. You'll see down here, I use mostly in the inside here, actually just really in this one part, and I think a little bit over here. I use some granite and I use some bricks. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there. I used some spruce fences here just for a little bit of a color contrast. I could have used birch, but I thought that would clash too much with the roof here, so I went with spruce, and I think it turned out pretty well. Could use some edits and whatnot down here, but if we head up here, this now goes all the way up, and I expanded some of that over there, as well as some of this grass area over to the pathway, which I can actually do that now. And we have a connected pathway, so if we come out of this portal, we'll be able to go this way, go down this path, go down this path, down this way. It's not perfect, but it at least goes down to here now. I might have to build out some of the terraforming over here to create like a little pathway around here so that we can go over to here. But overall, I think this is looking, actually, we should probably go over here to get a better view. I think up here, if you guys remember, this was one of the things I built, I think in the last episode, was this kind of lookout area right here. But overall, I think it has turned out pretty well. I might replace some of those stripped oak logs there with, I think they used to be like the stripped bark block. I think bark block is what we used to call them. That might still be what they are, but they're essentially like the bark on all sides of the wood blocks. And that will make it so it's stripped on all sides, which I think will look a little bit better if I do that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. It blends in a little bit, and I'm a little concerned about some of the staircase, so I might replace some of that with some birch. But outside of that, I think it's looking pretty good. So the final thing that we're going to do for today's episode is something I mentioned a little bit earlier as well, which is down here, I'm expecting to have a bridge and have that bridge start right about here and end up over there. We might actually tear down this pillar because this thing isn't very useful. But I expect to have a bridge that's going to go from here over to there. I haven't designed anything for it. I might just kind of figure it out as I go, but I think that is what we want to do next. So I'm going to get some materials together. I think it's going to be a similar theme to some of this area, some wood and things like that. Some of the brick maybe as well. And we're going to put something together, and I guess we'll see how it goes. So I'll be back, folks. I'm going to try to start putting together some materials for a bridge, and then I'll be back. All right, I've grabbed some materials, and we're going to try to do kind of an old school walk and talk here. Or maybe I won't. Believe it or not, talking while building a bridge, especially one that you haven't designed yet, is quite difficult. Mostly because I'm trying to think through the design while I'm trying to talk, and it doesn't often work out. It's a little different when you have super long form content, things like streams and whatnot, but when you're trying to put something together that is entertaining and that is shorter in duration, this gets a little bit harder. I really don't know how I used to do it. I really don't know how I used to talk over building, and probably the secret there is that I never, well, at least in the last, I would say 5 or 6 years, haven't really done that. That's kind of the meta of where we've been going in terms of content creation in general, but also with Minecraft content. More edited content, more, voiceovers, more structured content, a beginning, a middle, and end that makes sense and are planned out beforehand. That's kind of the content structure that people have been going with. It's gone a little bit away from that in terms of a lot of the things you'll see out there now with Forever Worlds, as well as some of the old school Let's Plays that have been out. But for the most part, it's still the edited content. It's just a natural way of things, and it means that a lot more people can get into the space as well because, like I said, it's really hard to just continuously talk while doing something. Anyways, I'm really happy with how this bridge has turned out. I modeled the design of it as I was going through it, similarly to a bridge that I built over on Afterlife SMP. If you guys know that series, that's a multiplayer server that I play on. And I built a bridge from my base over there into the main area where the town hall is on the server. And it went through several iterations. This is kind of like an arch bridge that has some aspects to it that are filled inside the bridge. But I think it works out really well for the area. I tried to use a lot of the same blocks. As you guys will see, I used general things like oak logs, oak slabs, birch slabs. I reused some of the redstone lamps with the daylight sensors like I used up on the ledge that's overlooking the right off the mountainside ledge basically. And I included some granite and some brick because of course that's what we've been using throughout the entire base. You got to stay with the theme, and I honestly love that theme. I added some decorations. There's a few more things that I think I still need to add to this bridge as well, but overall, I'm really happy with how the bridge has turned out, and I hope you all are too. So without further ado, let's get back to the world, and let's take a closer look at how this turned out. Oh boy, do I have something to show you. We have made some awesome progress. And actually a lot more than you might think. I didn't show all of it. So let's get out of this weird view and let's go see it. So down here, I've connected up, I finished this pathway all the way down from earlier in today's episode. All the way down here, I added in some coarse dirt, and I finished this pathway down here. I added some leaves, added some fences along the side here. Again, coarse dirt and some path blocks. We might mix in some of the brown concrete powder. We use that over in the farming area over there. We might use that here as well. But yeah, just walking over here, as you can see, the bridge. As you can see, we've connected up to this board here as well. We can walk across the bridge, walk this way, and it leads to nothing. We have to figure out what we're gonna do here. I might do like a water drop little tunnel right here to get us all the way up to the top here, instead of doing a little pathway around it. I don't really know what we're doing here. I got rid of all the trees on top of this island area, so we have room to do something, but I don't really know what that something's gonna be, so I'll have to figure that out. If we fly, let's see if we can stand. Oh, I missed it. Let's see if we can stand right here, and that is our bridge. I love it. You can see the leaves that I added on the outside here as well. On top of here, I need to find some flower pots. I want to put some like little flowers or azaleas or something in there. And then underneath, you guys can't see it from here, but if we fly underneath of here, you'll be able to see that this needs some work down here. Which will be a pretty easy fix, but yeah, right now it's not super important. We're not gonna be flying too much from underneath of that area. We'll be flying up on this side, just not necessarily underneath of the bridge over here. But I'm honestly super stoked about this bridge. I know it's more old school, not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it fits our area very well. And I love the atmosphere that I added here with these leaves and the spruce fences. I think it adds a lot. This angle right here, especially, is pretty cool. But I think that's going to do it for the majority of our episode. I realized towards the end of this episode that I forgot to do a comment of the video last time during our New Year's resolutions video. So we're going to do two today, one for episode 33 and one for episode 34, which is today's video. So let's start off with episode 33. And remember, for these, I always pull a comment from the previous episode for that episode's comment, basically. So this one will be technically a comment from episode 32 from Envixity, who said, I think you should really start investing in totems. Never seen you with one. I pulled this up because I get this question quite a lot. People are pretty confused as to why I don't use totems. Got nothing against them. It's just I so far have not had a need for them, or really haven't really wanted to use them. So I just don't use them. Eventually we'll probably get a raid farm and have some totems. Not that I'll use them, but sacrifice them or whatever. But for now, I just don't care about totems. And then the comment from the previous episode for today's episode is a lengthy one. And this is from my good friend Blonde Skunk. We remember last episode we talked about New Year's resolutions, and Skunk gave me some of his. So definitely achieved a lot last year. Maybe not in the content department, but in the life department. Getting married, having a wedding was definitely a huge thing. A lot of time and resources. Measure themes for your year. I did mention in the previous episode that I sometimes have themes for the year, and that is what I try to do every year. Rather than set specific goals for the year, set an overall theme. Last year was the year of content for me, and I made the content the focus of the year no matter what. This year is the year of streaming. However, I'm not focusing on streaming, of course. I want to focus still be on YouTube videos, just with more streams intermixed. Streaming is an awesome place to be able to interact with people, so I definitely understand that. But I also have another year theme that is for 2025, the year of faith. Really want to get going back to church every single Sunday. Hopefully you achieve that this year, Skunk. You definitely got some great goals lined up for 2025. I'm genuinely excited for you in this new year. Hope you have a happy new year. So I think my goals have been pretty good so far this year. There's things you guys haven't seen. I've actually already worked on my website, which is pretty darn awesome. That's more than I did in 2024. I don't think I touched it once. So I'm already pretty happy with how this year's going, and as you can tell, this place is rocking. This place is looking pretty cool. So thanks for the comments, folks, and thank you all for watching today's episode. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe, click the notification bell, and get notified whenever I have new episodes of this series and others. All right, folks, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.